All right, we are now live on our first podcast.
All right. Hey everyone, welcome to the Snowball with Jake and Gavin, where we talk about anything and everything, and if it picks up enough speed, it'll snowball.
Yeah, so basically this is our inaugural episode, and Jake and I talked about getting a few topics together separately, and we haven't told each other what they are, but they're random, and again, like he said, if they pick up speed, they will snowball. So just to kind of intro here, we are doing 3 topics each. I managed to only grab 2. Jake did his homework and actually grabbed 3. But as a background, we are doing this through the Anchor app and the supported podcast listening platforms that this podcast will be on are Apple Podcasts, Breaker, CastBox, Google Podcast, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Podbean, Radio Public, Spotify, Stitcher, and TuneIn. So basically anywhere that you would listen to podcasts is where our podcast will be once this gets uploaded.
Yeah, so we basically just did this for fun, and I approached Gavin a few weeks about doing this, and he was totally on board with it, which was awesome to me. So basically the idea of it is we are going to just talk about whatever happens, the 3 topics like Gavin said, and we will try to give what we think about these topics in the most level-headed manner. I mean, we are not going to come out and butcher people for believing certain things, and we are not going to openly gossip and break people down depending on whatever various religions, stereotypes there may be out there.
Let me just fill in there, too, that we're also trying to keep this on a level that's quote-unquote family appropriate. But knowing Jake and I, this may swerve from, reality and take a more expected turn into a vulgar, maybe?
In our description, we'll give you the topics that we cover and if they're what their ratings are, because there may be the occasional swear word we use here and there.
It's not intentional. It's just the heat of the moment, but we are trying to keep this to a broad audience, not just, more explicit levels. But with that being said, so that's kind of the setup for what we're doing and the idea we're kind of going for. And so my name's Jake, and my name's Gavin, and I'm working with Jake. This is a good start. Jesus. So basically, background here. How do we know each other? So Jake and I went to high school together. We played water polo and we swam together, and in total there's 7 of us guys who just became really close in high school, and then of course Jake and I decided to start a podcast recently, and here we are in our first episode. Jake, what are you doing now with your life in terms of education post high school?
So I attend the Pennsylvania State University. And I am studying electrical engineering, just switched from civil, so currently attending. It has an asterisk next to it though, so we'll see how that develops.
And I'm at Temple University, but I'm at Temple University studying computer science and economics, and we'll see where that one ends up too. But nonetheless, we are currently home for summer break, and we'll be heading back to school in probably about, a month and a half.
Oh my God, less than a month. Penn State gets back into session, I think, the end of August, and people are moving in.
I was looking at my moving date today. It's the 24th of August or something. I was just like, oh my God, it's so quick.
It's flown by.
This summer flew by. But nonetheless, so Jake, let's get down to it.
Okay, so as an early hook, we had to do something funny. And I told Gavin that I had something kind of offhand that was kind of funny. Now, I listened to a podcast called The Official Podcast, and there's a guy, I think his name is Penguin on YouTube, so go give him a follow if you know who I'm talking about. He plays a lot of Fortnite and streams a lot, and he runs a podcast called The Official Podcast. And their fan base sent them a question, and that I'm now about to ask Gavin, of if you had to escape an ISIS prison, What Disney princess would you choose to help you, and why?
I mean, I guess you could. Is it bad to say that, like, I feel like I know Cinderella, and then there's so many Disney lovers out there that are gonna shame me for this. I can't tell you that I know a bunch of Disney princesses. But all right, talk to me with this one. So there's Cinderella, and who other?
Right.
What are the other ones?
So there's like Pocahontas, Mulan, like
are
Elsa
they're considered? They're considered.
Yeah, like anybody like that plays the
not just
protagonistic female role in a Disney princess.
They're not
Disney
just like
movie.
the OG cast, like princesses. You talking about like the new ones?
Yeah, like I mean,
Frozen.
like Moana and like the newer ones, like that age. I mean, like not obviously not like Wreck-It Ralph. Like, I mean, if you're a Wreck-It Ralph lover, like maybe sure, but like she's not really a princess.
If you made a good argument for it,
yeah, like Moana is like it's a chief's daughter. Like the chief of that, like that's princess.
she knows
pretty much.
She does.
Yeah, that's royalty to them, I guess.
Oh, if I had to escape an ISIS,
Yeah.
how did you word it? An ISIS what?
If you
an ISIS prison?
had to escape an ISIS prison, who would you choose to help?
You know what my first thought was, honestly?
What?
Cinderella's the one with the glass slipper, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say break the glass slipper and just start stabbing people and run, but that seems. This is where the family appropriate level just kind of takes off.
So
we just peeled that sticker right off.
So I obviously had a prepared answer to this because I had a little bit of time to tee this up, and my response.
What was this question? Honestly, shout out to whoever came up with this idea.
I have no idea who it was. If anybody else watches the official podcast and knows exactly what episode we're talking about, please let us know. Like, because I want to know who did this question. So my answer to this would got to be Elsa
from Frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I knew that one.
Because you got the ice powers, right? And she can shoot those ice things. And dude, I can't imagine like what those guys must be thinking when a giant animated snowman starts running at them.
Yeah. It's just, I mean,
like not even a snowman, like a snow monster. That's what that's
well, she built in the, if I'm remembering this right, I can't remember the last time I watched Frozen. It was probably a few years, but she was the one that built the castle out of ice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you would choose Elsa.
Yeah.
Would be your escape plan? Just blast the whole place with ice and.
Dude, I didn't really get that far. I just kind of figured that
you're escaping from ISIS. You need to escape. You need this thing to be thought out.
So that she would come in and just kind of blow the place up with this giant snow monster, and then we just kind of
bounce,
prance our way out.
Yeah, all right. Peace, guys.
We could just walk out through the front door.
Been having a good time. You know what? I think I'm gonna head out though. Oh my god, that's funny. So I guess the first one that I was gonna start off of the two, I had one that was like a legit like serious one, and then one that I thought was kind of funny because I keep hearing ridiculous stuff. So do you know how like every so often you'll go into like do you use Facebook a lot by any chance? Or like, you know what, even this first one, Instagram or really like any one of the two.
Okay.
You ever go on and you realize that well, I just want to make sure that everything's still okay. You ever go on to Facebook or Instagram for that matter and ever realize like start to see a video and it's like I couldn't come up with an example off the top of my head, but like once I say it, you'll be like, yeah. Where somebody's like getting arrested for some stupid stuff. Just like things that you wouldn't think were a law, or like some video that went viral because somebody got arrested for something that was just like you didn't know was illegal.
Yeah, like hugging a tree.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, like something obscure.
Well,
like
that.
Do
you know how like? Do you know that it's a law in PA that you can't catch a fish with your mouth? Did you like? I started to dive into this topic because I was like, "There's no way." Like, there are some amazing laws.
Like, are you talking like with your mouth, like with your teeth, or do you mean like? you can hold a rope in your. You can't hold like a fishing line.
Honestly, I didn't dive into it that much, and I wish I did. But it was like I would imagine there was no like intermediate. There was no mediator in the thing. It was like mouth to fish.
No, you can't. So you can't catch the fish with your mouth, but you can catch the fish and then eat it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay,
this is
so
strange.
like
this is strange. Okay, continue.
So like then I think I was with one of the guys and they were talking about how maybe it was David, one of our friends from high school, and he was talking about how it's illegal to take a nap on a freezer in PA. It was something stupid.
That would be something that David would know.
And the point is there's just like a ridiculous amount of like
random laws.
And I have to ask you, like, if you would like, I had this worded so much better in my mind, but like, if there was a law, a stupid law that you would think that would be existent, which one would you break? Just like, it wouldn't offend anybody. It wouldn't be like anything serious. It wouldn't be like, it'd be like of the level of like a traffic crime. But like, if there was a stupid law that like, for some reason was a law, what would you commit?
Well, I think one that's like really broken, but like is established. So not to directly answer your question, like is jaywalking. So
yeah,
like,
it's supposedly illegal, but you never see. I've
yeah.
never seen somebody get pulled over. I live on Broad Street in Philadelphia. I jaywalk every single day, in front of cops.
Oh yeah, like
they don't do a thing about it.
Yeah, Penn State University. There is if you can go a day without seeing someone jaywalk, then I'd be very surprised. If you've ever been to Penn State and have not seen someone jaywalk in like a minimum of an hour time downtown, that's impressive.
I'm still kind of like I get the safety reasons for jaywalking, but like I feel like I don't get why it's like a law. Like you just get fined for it, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just like a fine and a slap on the wrist, but yeah. I mean, yeah. So it's totally for safety reasons, which is totally viable, and I understand why that's in place. But to answer your question, oh geez, if I could break any law that if it was a law,
and let me put emphasis on this, where no one else is personally, physically, mentally, or emotionally affected by this law, like being broken. This is just on you.
I would say walking on the grass. Like
trespassing on someone else's lawn?
No, I mean, so you know how places have like very weird walkways sometimes? Like I don't know if Temple has this, but Penn State has like walkways everywhere that like branch to every building from every other building, and like you're supposed to walk on a path, and if you don't walk on a path, like people give you weird looks. I mean, it's kind of weird actually. So the pledges who rush fraternities actually aren't allowed to walk on grass. I think sorority, like girls who rush sororities too, aren't allowed to walk on the grass during those rushing weeks. And if you see someone, like they have to do something stupid, obviously.
Like okay.
But yeah, like people will give you weird looks if you walk across grass. And I'm not gonna lie, I've given weird looks to people too. But it's a weird culture up there. Like, I just want to walk across the grass in peace, man. I don't have time to walk all these obscure routes to get home.
Okay.
My walk home would be like 20 minutes if I walked on all the sidewalks that separated me and my apartment from grass.
I'm sorry, I had to pull this page up because this is where this whole thing came from, and it's called, literally, I cannot make this up. This website's called dumblaws.com. And it goes through each of the, it looks like the 50 continental states, and then, yeah, because I don't see Hawaii, or, Alaska's, it is, it's all the U.S. States. But, so we live in Pennsylvania, and I had to just pull this up. because you have to ask yourself what happened in order for this to become a law.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like, you have to understand that they're, like, a law becomes a law not just because they're sitting around one day and they're like, let's make that a law.
Yeah, just like some weird backstory that happened.
Yeah, the backstories, you gotta ask yourself, like, what motivated this to happen? So, to the sleeping thing that I was talking about earlier, it's illegal to sleep on top of a refrigerator outdoors in PA. Okay, you may not catch a fish with your hands, is what it says. I thought it said with your mouth. Oh, with your mouth?
Oh, I understand with your hands then. It's with your hands.
Oh, okay, I had this backwards. I don't know why this was... What's going on?
Yeah, I understand why catching fish with your hands is dangerous.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember exactly what they call it. It might be wrangling. But I know down in the South, like, this is a big thing. Like, you go down and you get into some really weird, like, crevices in caves under logs, and you find, like, catfish. Like, and you can put a glove on, and catfish, their mouth can go wider than their head, so they can eat quite a like large
quantity
thing. Yeah, like they can eat about a softball size thing, like, no problem. And so people will put their hand in a catfish and put it down its crusher. So, like, the catfish has a mouth and then, like, crushers to crush it up because they don't have teeth. And people have, like, died doing this. Because they'll get themselves in, like, some obscure spot. And I don't, like we fish pretty often.
Mm-hmm.
And we catch bass that are, like, 2-3 pounds maybe.
Yeah.
Now, imagine a 50-pound catfish on the end of your rod. That's a lot.
That'd probably pull me into the water.
Yeah. So then imagine you put your fist in this 50-pound catfish that is all muscle, and you're in an obscure spot, and it just pulls you under and holds you under and suffocates you.
Yeah.
Like this is not like an infrequent occurrence. Like, people have actually died a lot from doing this. Like,
I know. I believe it. I mean, 50. You're dealing with water. Like, say you're in a. Where do catfish typically live?
That catfish live in, like, tight, crevicey places that like in caves where they can just chill out during the day and stay cool, and, like, under logs and stuff, like. And that's true for any fish, really. They want to stay cool during the day, but yeah, like.
And also just want to make sure that while you are out fishing, you're not using dynamite to catch fish, because apparently that's also a law.
I don't think they're doing catch and release with that one.
No. I mean, if we're looking at the environmental side, yeah, probably not the best way to go about fishing. But yeah, no. If I were to break the law myself, it'd probably have to be singing in the bathtub, which is apparently a law in the state of Pennsylvania that you cannot do.
What?
Mm-hmm.
You can't, but you can sing in the shower.
I guess so, but you cannot sing in the bathtub. You have to ask yourself, what happened there?
I guess this kind of stems from, like, when the fat president after Teddy Roosevelt got stuck in the bathtub. I didn't even know his name. Oh my god. It's been a while. Sorry, Mr. Mulheron.
I was gonna say, I feel like, didn't we learn about that with Enderbits? Oh no, that was... What did we learn with him? Didn't we learn U.S.? Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, alright. Jake, next question.
Okay. Alright, so this is something that I'm sure you deal with as much as I do. And by deal with, I mean witness everywhere. This comes from, your average middle school bathroom all the way to the Brad, Chads, and Thads of every American frat house on every American university.
Let me just make this clear. I am beyond terrified about what he's about to say.
You guessed it. You know it. Girls love it. The JUUL.
Oh my god.
The JUUL. So, I see JUULs everywhere.
As do I.
And you know as much as I do that they're more of a social thing.
Let's just make the premise, if you don't know what a JUUL is, it's pretty much like one of the highest selling vapes that you like.
Well, here, I'm about to get into this.
Right.
I'm about to get into the actual numbers. So Gavin's absolutely right. A JUUL is an electronic cigarette device, vape, whatever you want to call it, and basically it gives you the same benefits of a cigarette, but without all the negative things in it. So I started to do some research because I had attended Arts Fest, Penn State Arts Fest this past weekend, and Penn State, I think, is one of the most notorious universities for the JUUL because they're all over Barstool Sports, things like that, and it'll be tagged like, oh, Penn State University. And one of the funniest ones is somebody actually Wu-tanged a JUUL pod. so you know how some guys Wu-tang a roach after they're done with the blunt?
Yeah.
So, he took the JUUL pod and just and sucked it in and swallowed.
The whole thing?
The whole JUUL
Not just like the pod?
The whole pod.
Oh,
like
wait,
the
just
plastic coating of the pod. And you
Why? Why would you do that?
I don't know. I thought it was hysterical, though, and that's why I chose this. So, JUUL. We're going to crunch the numbers here. Actually, well, we are not going to. I already crunched numbers. So we are going to talk about how this company turned something we're very familiar with. I mean, I think everybody is just about as familiar they can be with vapes at this point. This is a very big thing, starting from around 2015-ish, around there.
JUUL?
Vaping as a whole.
Yeah, JUUL became really big towards the end of 2016.
Well, right.
Then, yeah.
I did a lot of research on this. So,
yeah, but nonetheless, like, just to kind of say, vaping within probably the past 4 or so years has taken a skyrocket, at least in the eyes of what we have seen.
Yeah, and all across universities, too. Universities, colleges, trade schools even. High schools, high school bathrooms. Middle schools, too. So,
and also, let's make it clear that if you also don't know, in order to purchase a vape, you have to be 18 or older.
Yes. You have to be. So this is all stuff for people that are 18 and over. If you want to go and buy a JUUL after this, I mean, we don't have a discount coupon for you, so sorry, but
yeah.
So
sorry.
These are just some of the numbers that I ran. So JUUL is owned by Pax Labs. So Pax Labs is a research facility, hence the labs, and they were formerly known as Plume, and is an electric cigarette company. Which was founded in 2007, so it does studies, and it also joined the electronic cigarette business in 2007. Now, during the course of that time, from 2007 to, well, now 2018, Pax Labs has funded $46.5 million of research into the JUUL.
$46.5 million?
Yes, that's a lot of money. Like, that is a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, $46.5 million. I didn't look where that came from. I'm going to assume it was mostly a bunch of rich guys.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of startup angel investors.
So,
but nonetheless.
So, when 2 college kids wanted to find a substitute for electronic cigarettes that are relatively reasonably priced and didn't have the negative effects as cigarettes, they started the JUUL. And the JUUL actually was bought out by Pax Laboratories, I believe, in 2014, and now the JUUL is everywhere. So let's see, how did JUUL get to this spot? So, okay, so numbers. I keep saying numbers and I keep not getting to it. Okay. So, over the past year, so 2017, JUUL Labs has generated $224 million in revenue.
In how long? 2 years?
In 1 year. The past year. 224 retail sales, not revenue, excuse me. Retail sales. That is a lot of money. Now, according to Nielsen data provided by JUUL Labs, the brand's sales exploded by 621%.
Yeah.
From 2016 to 2017. And get this. This blew my mind. And in 1 year, captured 32% market share of total e-cigarette category in 4 weeks that ended November 4th. So in the 4-week period, out of all electronic cigarette stock on the market, it captured 32%.
Is it public?
Yeah.
Wow.
32% of all. I mean, of all. Like, of Blue, of JUUL, of those... I don't even know. So, that's a lot of money. That is quite an influence that they have had over this past year. Some more numbers. JUUL systems, the amount they have sold, 1 million. 1 million JUUL have sold to date. So starting from, 2012 to 2018, they've sold 1 million JUUL systems, not including pods. That is not including pods. And they are available at 12,000 convenience stores across the U.S. as well as online. And the JUUL system retails for $35, and a 4-pack of pods costs $16. So if 1 million JUUL systems have sold to date, you got to figure, if 1 million JUUL systems sell, that's $35 million at 35. At 35. A JUUL, right? And a 4-pack of pods costs $16. Now, this is what's nuts about this thing. So, I live with a guy who's absolutely, like, scummy. And that's the nicest way I can put it. Like, he does things that are just awful. Like for example, one time he takes this girl home from a party, and then
Jake, where is this going?
Hold on.
I'm trying to, but I don't know if I can.
And he does not look in the best state of mind. And so I'm like, okay, do your thing. And like, I'm sitting there. I did not like pay attention to him walking back into the back at all.
Oh my God, Jake.
25 minutes later, he comes back out and kicks her out. And then he comes back over to me. And I've been sitting on the couch for this whole time. He comes, lays on the couch, puts his head on my lap and said, Jake, why did you let me do this? And then cries himself to sleep. I'm like, oh my God. So this guy is the absolute definition of a frat guy. And if you're listening to this and you know who you are, like, I love you. But
is he actually in a frat?
Yes.
So it doesn't just fill the stereotype. He is the stereotype.
No, he is. He is the stereotype.
All right.
So he, I think, in one weekend went through 2 packs of JUULs. 2 packs of JUUL pods.
How many hits is each pod?
I have no idea. I think each pod is about a pack of cigarettes. I believe that's the case. So yeah, the cigarettes. So 1 pack of cigarettes. So, well, that's the nicotine content, not obviously all the bad stuff. So this is something that was written by the City Journal, and it said tobacco company stocks have plunged this year, along with cigarette sales. I mean, obviously, if you generate $224 million of retail sales, that's an astronomical amount of money. However, for the first time, the smoking rate in America has dropped below 15% for adults and 8% for high school students. So that's good. That's good. Like cigarettes. So that's good.
Yeah, no, definitely the JUUL. And I was looking at stats because I made a video that I posted on my YouTube channel a little while ago about like the JUUL versus the FDA. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think it was the FDA. And they were talking about like the JUUL really has done like a lot of good things in order to like get teens to really stop smoking like cigs and stuff like that. So like, I mean, it can't really be argued. Cigs obviously have a lot of negative health problem, or cause a lot of negative health problems. So like, if kids are gonna be smoking, you'd rather at least have them smoke a JUUL, like, or vape a JUUL rather than smoke a cig, because like the health benefits or the health.
Exactly. Yeah. You trade being gay for being healthy.
What?
Yeah. No.
Unrelated. So anyway. the FDA is like, well, actually, there's a lot that I can dive into, and I think this might be the topic that we first snowball on.
I have the timeline here. I have the timeline of FDA regulations.
Give us the timeline.
So, Wall Street analysts are calling this the JUUL the existential threat to tobacco companies, and they're absolutely right. JUUL has come in and has made $224 million in sales this past year, and it's growing. It's not showing any signs of stopping. Let's be clear about that. But let's look at why that is. So the FDA groups vaping and tobacco in the same quadrant, pretty much. So if one goes for one, obviously it has to go for the other, which makes sense. So the reason you can draw some pretty solid conclusions from why cigarettes are on the way out and juuling is on the way in here. Okay, well, I just lost it. Okay, so December 31st, 2016, you must, one of the amendments to the regulation says you must register your business if you prepare, manufacture, compound, repackage, relabel, or process tobacco products. JUUL is not a tobacco product.
All it has really is nicotine is like the strongest thing in it.
Yeah. They do not have to register their business. They don't have to waste time, money, effort into registering their business for that. And that was December 31st, 2016. And another amendment on the same date says you must list your products in detail. What is there to list? It's nicotine and some nicotine salt that gets it to your head faster than cigarettes do. And cigarettes have to list all of that horrendously disgusting things that are in their product. So February 18, 2017, so if you are a large-scale manufacturer, you must submit your tobacco health documents relating to health, toxicological, behavioral, or physiological effects or products to the FDA. So you have to submit all that stuff. And with Pax Labs, they've been doing research for what was it, 5 years, I think it said? Yes, they've been doing research for 5 years. And so they've already submitted all that stuff to the FDA. That stuff's already done. It's taken care of. And there's no other health stuff to be looked at right now because you can't run a study spanning 30 years on the effect of what juuling does to your body in 5. You just can't. So when the FDA re-regulates for specifically juuling and things of that sort, they're going to have to take another look at that. So on August 8th, 2017, it says, if you are a small-scale manufacturer, you must submit your ingredients by quantity, brand, and sub-brand. So that's just another entrance to the field. Entrance to barrier. Barriers to entrance. Ooh, backwards. Barriers to entrance for any new
like an oligopoly?
Pretty much. This is what it's shaping up to be.
An oligopolic industry being that one that mainly has a small amount of massive companies dominating the industry with high barriers to entry.
Yeah. I could keep reading for an hour and a half about all these new things. But basically what I got from all these regulations is that they're making it harder for tobacco products to get in. And since the FDA has regulated that you just have to do a pretty simple setup to get into the industry, juuling is just taking them by storm right now. They don't have to waste all this energy dealing with the tobacco stuff because it's nicotine. It's not like it's grown from a plant. You can artificially make nicotine and it's technically not tobacco.
Yeah, no, there's a lot that JUUL is able to get away with. It's like, it's really just a vape company, and like they do have nicotine in it, but like how many other vape companies also have nicotine in it that are also doing really well? Like Blue does really well, but they're not owned by JUUL, are they?
No, they aren't.
They're totally a separate entity.
Yeah, but when's the last time you've seen someone hit a Blue?
Yeah, but they're also doing like fine. They do have like a lot of sales, I'm sure, not in nearly as much quantity as JUUL, but they're doing really well. Like, and then But did you hear about probably this was probably about a month ago maybe, JUUL's new their new marketing push. So JUUL isn't approved by the FDA, which is kind of a big deal, and I guess for a company like that to be approved by the FDA is a huge goal to kind of have, and it's a good goal to have. I couldn't tell you the logistics or the really reason behind it, but I know that it's something that they have in their eyesight. So basically, what happened was, I think it was the FDA. I think it was the actual FDA that started calling them out, and they were like, "Yo, you guys are marketing to teenagers. You're on social media. You're on Instagram. You're on Facebook." You're all over these major platforms.
Mm-hmm.
You're literally catering to the millennials and below. This is these are teenagers that you're marketing to. It's tons of kids, and then they're probably all over 18 in their Instagram. I mean, I'm sure they'd have a huge lawsuit if they didn't. But so finally, what the JUUL company did in order to get FDA approval was, if you go on their Instagram now, all you'll see is cigarette addicts talking about their transformation to JUUL and basically sharing their stories about how JUUL changed their life and saved them. And that's literally, they changed all of this within probably 2 months. They stopped.
Gosh.
Literally, this was to shut down all the theories that they were catering to one of the largest gaps of Americans that smoke the JUUL.
Well, why do you think it's so successful now?
Yeah.
For that little while, I mean.
Exactly.
Dude,
and now everyone knows JUUL.
Yeah, one in probably 7 or 8 kids at college has a JUUL now.
Oh my!
Or more than that.
Probably, yeah. It's so accessible. It's sold you said 12,000 stores?
12,000 convenience stores across just the United States.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're international too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so accessible. It's so easy, and everything works with a USB plug-in. Isn't that how you charge it?
You plug it
I don't know.
You plug it into your computer, and it sits erect on so it sits perpendicular to how your computer would close all the way, which is strange because it sits erect up on it, and obviously you can fix that and change how the design is, but it's just easy.
It is easy. It's it's one of those companies that makes it big because they use social media as their platform. They get a ton of followings. I don't even think they have millions, but they're definitely in I think that tons of thousands.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
But they made their product so easily accessible, and with that 46, I think you said, and a half million. That's probably what that was all targeted for, was the marketing, the accessibility, that's how you do it. There's large startup capitals, and you have to look at it from, okay, yeah, JUUL kind of screwed a large majority of the teen population, given the fact that a majority of teens are underage smoking this, or vaping this, but it's their marketing was just it was good. Yeah, it wasn't in line with the FDA or really any law for that matter, but it was genuinely just that good. And that's why the company is rolling in as much as it's rolling in, because they were smart about how they spent that startup capital.
Yeah.
And,
right, exactly.
But now they're begging for the FDA's approval, and they go and do some stuff.
Yeah.
And they're just all right, let's start sharing stories about how addicts transferred over to the JUUL and it saved their lives. I don't know.
So the last thing I'm going to say before I wrap this up is, so the JUUL is here to stay. The JUUL has completely taken the perfect market opportunities to come in and exploit where they need to, and they did it perfectly. I will give them credit where credit is due. PAX Industries and JUUL, PAX Labs and JUUL Labs have done absolutely excellent things marketing-wise. So, when Blue came in to the spotlight and they had some commercials for their product, they fought the FDA tooth and nail to get into the convenience stores and things like that. And as soon as Blue did that and worked on that, they had exhausted themselves. And now JUUL has come in, has leaned it down, but the product and the manufacturing systems made it cheap for everyone, and they're running the cigarette company businesses out of town.
This is the exact kind of product where you would look at it and be like, it's a fad.
It absolutely is a fad.
But it's rare that you can take a fad like this and put it in a concrete.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And
absolutely.
Exactly what you just said, but that's literally what they did. They took a fad and they're like, no. Like, we're not just going to be here for a minute. We're going to be here to stay. And, like, with the vaping industry blowing up, it's now all eyes are kind of just set on
Exactly.
JUUL.
They worked very hard to get to where they need to be at the right time, and they are there, and they are there to stay. I don't think anyone's coming across in the next little while and knocking them off of top dog of the vaping industry.
No, but I do think the whole thing with the FDA is kind of funny. I was like, really, like, come on, guys, a little transparent there.
Exactly. Yeah, the FDA.
You can do better. You can do better.
FDA is the FDA, man, and that's all right.
That's true.
But everyone's going to try to find loopholes to them.
Yeah.
All right. So, sorry, that took a little while. Snowball. We need a snowball button. As soon as something starts to snowball, we need to hit the snowball button.
Oh my god, it's like the Staples button. Like that was easy.
Yeah. You know what? We're doing it. I'm not even asking anymore. We're doing it.
We're doing it.
Okay.
It'll be like when there used to be apps out there like when iPhone just started getting popular, even like iPod just started getting popular. And then like the apps where the biggest thing was like the button apps where you download it, it makes like a laser noise or something like
yes,
that. Like,
oh my
snowball.
god. Oh my
Snowball.
god. I do remember that. Kill that with fire. Jeez,
I know, take
no
me back
more.
to like 2008.
All right. All right, you're up again.
Okay. So this is like a serious topic in that it's one to really, I think there's a lot you can dive into. You can kind of hit it from different angles, but with kind of what's been going on in the world lately, if no matter pretty much where you are in the world, you know that the whole situation with the soccer team in the Thailand cave.
Yeah. Well, I don't know the specifics, and I'm sure you're gonna give them to me, but yeah.
I don't even know all the specifics. There was so much to it, but like you have at least heard about it, right?
Did they go like spelunking, or were they just like? Did they just do this for fun? I honestly don't know. Like, did they do it for fun? Or?
The story that was kind of told was that they were doing exercises into a cave. And I guess, like, when you live in Thailand, that's kind of what you do. It's a soccer team, and the coach led, like, I think it was, like, 12 to 15-year-olds. It was a team of, like, 12 kids and then 13, including the coach, into a cave in Thailand. And they ended up doing exercises into the cave 2 miles deep into a cave. And what ended up happening... Yeah, no, I know.
What?
I know. And like, there was no negative intention here, but what ended up happening was when they were in this cave, a monsoon came over, like, that area.
And flooded them
into the cave. Yeah. So, with the way that the cave was designed, it was like up and down and up and down, right? So the down parts filled up, right? So like
you can't just like
yeah, but the down parts were much deeper than the high up parts. It's not like
so they could just sit up on the high up parts and be fine.
Exactly, and that's where they ended up being. But it was 2 miles deep into a cave, and the water wasn't really going anywhere. It was kind of there to be there for like a little bit, and with the problem of oxygen, not to mention food, water.
2 weeks.
They were in there for, probably like 2 weeks. I think. I couldn't tell you the exact time, but they're all out now. Okay. But this whole thing was ridiculous.
Oh, they all made it?
To the best of my knowledge, yeah. I think some of them were really sick.
Wow.
But I think all of them made it, but I know that search and rescue teams, there were a few losses.
Yeah, I know one of the SEALs.
Yeah.
Their version of a Navy SEAL died.
Yeah,
doing that.
And like, as I was kind of starting to talk about this prompt that I was going to be giving you, I actually saw a video of a British Navy SEAL, or whatever his definition was. I think he said he was like an ex-Navy SEAL or something, and he was like, I was highly trained in like scuba diving, pretty much, and he was talking about the logistics of this cave and what it's like to be a cave diver. He's like, I did it for years. Like, I was advanced. I had done almost anything you could possibly think of, like just like ridiculous stuff that he was listing. But he was like, let me tell you, when I look at the logistics of this cave and the people who went into this, he was like, it's probably one of the most terrifying things I could think about. He's like, first of all, not to mention it's dark in this cave. There's no light.
Yeah, this isn't like Minecraft.
So you also have to think to yourself, why was the soccer coach, all right, let's go 2 miles deep into a cave?
Well, that's what I get stuck at.
It's like there's no light.
I'm like, you wouldn't have had this stupid ass problem if you didn't go 2 miles deep into a cave.
Like, none of this would have happened. And I don't even think the soccer coach is going to get charged because there was no negative intent.
Well,
or something like that.
How would you charge the guy?
Like and I'm not saying that he should be charged. I'm just saying that it's a miracle that no one's like
dead
based off of this guy's just like. I mean, I guarantee. But I was even saying to my sister, I was like, that soccer team shows up to a game. The other team's just gonna walk out. They're gonna be like, there's no way we're going against these kids. Like, they survived 2 weeks, 2 miles deep into a cave. Like, these kids are unstoppable.
These kids come out of the cave.
And not to mention the coach is psychotic. Like.
The coach goes out after the cave and gives them a pep talk. He's like, congrats, you survived. You still suck at soccer.
Oh my god. The training didn't work. You couldn't swim back. Like, the whole thing was ridiculous. And it was like so terrifying to watch on TV because like you started to see Navy SEALs die and you're like, okay, you know how highly trained Navy SEALs are. This must be intense. But I was watching the video. And there were so many things going on at once surrounding this one topic. Like, the British Navy SEAL was talking about how... So, first of all, it's dark, right?
Yeah.
Not to mention...
It's cold.
Not to mention it's cold. Not to mention there are tight spaces that you're going through. And he was saying that when you dive in caves, you have to have the most amount of calm you've ever had in your entire life. Because you bump one of your tubes, one of your breathing apparatuses, you're done. Like... You're done. You're in a cave. Something goes wrong.
Yeah, something will puncture it.
Something will puncture it.
Yeah.
He was like, the chances of survival are minimal to none.
Yeah.
And he was just like, because the situation, and he was like, then it's so tight. He said, one of the biggest fears I have after everything I've ever done and all the training I've had is claustrophobia. He was like, there are points in this cave where it's so tight that the divers actually have to take off their gear and slide it through in front of them.
Nope.
He was like, just put that through your head. It's dark. You have no idea where you are. You are in, and not to mention you're in water. You're completely submerged.
Yeah, no.
And he was like, the logistics of trying to find these kids was like, the logistics of trying to find one of these, like, this group of kids is like minimal. And the survival rate was so small for even the divers trying to help. These highly trained divers.
Yeah.
So...
Wait, okay. How did they know these kids were in this cave?
I think there was gear left outside the cave. And obviously it's like 12 or 13 people's families were like, hey, my kid went to practice, never came home.
Oh, yeah.
Or something like that.
And
then they like found them in the cave and
I could see that.
They found their gear and they're like, hey, they might be in this cave.
Was this inland?
Yeah, it was like on a mountainside. Oh. Yeah, like the cave dug through a mountainside almost.
That's kind of like a perfect storm of like things to happen. Like,
oh my gosh.
You have to be 2 miles in. Mm-hmm. You have to be on top of a mountain where water just drains very quickly off the side. Oh, jeez, that's...
I know. But like luckily they were far enough into the cave to a point where the level wasn't higher than where the level rose in the cave.
Yeah, it's too far in, like they're not going to be able to get
But there was also a sudden rush too because there was another huge storm coming. And that would have flooded them out. But like okay, so going forward with this topic, Elon Musk had created a human submarine to fit one person inside. He sent it to the Thailand government trying to like offer up help with like whatever he could possibly do, and the prime minister was basically like, we like really appreciate, he made like a public speech and he was like, Elon, like we really appreciate everything you tried to do with creating this, like helping us out with this, but he was like, for this situation it's just not a practical use, but we do appreciate like all your help. Okay. And this is a question that I don't even know if I have a correct answer to, but like, you study engineering.
Yeah.
You study like that stuff. I mean, we're both in the sciences. We both taken high levels of physics and calc and like.
My side of it is like a little more practical though.
Yeah, like what if you were to take this on this challenge? How would you handle it?
You said it's a mapped out cave?
The cave is like no one perfectly mapped it out to the best of my knowledge, but it's up and down. It literally looks like an M.
Okay.
Multiple times.
Well, first, I'd see if there was anybody was offering up a reward, so I'd claim it.
That is just awful. This is just not a good start.
No. So if it has like some sort of documentation. Oh, it's on the side of a mountain though. I'd say just drill into the mountain.
That's what the other idea was. But they were like, that's actually what I was thinking too. And I think they were talking about how, well, one, they couldn't figure out like where the actual cave ended up. But they did have people searching the whole mountain because these kids were somehow still getting oxygen. And they were like, there has to be a hole somewhere that's leading down into this cave. So like if we can try to find like wherever this entry point is, we could just go in through there. Even if it's small, we can dig in through there because we know the cave will lead down into that.
Yeah, but if you dig into there and their oxygen's cut off.
Exactly, that's the other thing. You could dig next to it, but it could potentially block that hole. True. And then you're like, well, that kind of sucks. And then what if it also rains again? That's an easier access way for the rain to get in if you don't do it fast enough.
Exactly.
And also think about the other thing, too. Remember when those cave miners in, what was it, like, Chile or something? Or not the cave miners, just the miners in Chile got trapped down.
Oh, yeah.
Think about how long it took them to drill that down.
That was like 2 inches across? 2-inch diameter circle? It took him like a week to drill down?
Uh-huh. And
Jesus.
like the cave would have been almost up to similar logistics. Like there was like
that's
I know. And like I thought about this, I was like, is there any better way that you could have possibly done this? Basically what they ended up doing was a team of 4 SEALs or highly trained divers ended up it was like they almost put the kid on like a gurney and like strapped him in with a like a mask and everything, move. So he pretty much couldn't move, and they took him out.
You see that,
but like
I mean that is the absolute most practical way to do it, but I don't know if I can do that.
I'm trying to picture myself when I was 12 years old. I was still passionately afraid of elevators at that point. Like I could not possibly, I could not find it in me to be strapped into a dark, like, unforeseen flooded area.
You can't see. Yeah.
I would have had so many panic attacks. Like,
they probably couldn't even see when it was like the 13 of them.
I know. And I was like...
No, yeah, like, oh.
Like, have you ever been into a cave? Like, there's caves in PA. Have you ever been in one? Like, even just like, I don't know, like 100 feet in. The darkness hits rapidly fast.
Yeah.
Like, why were they 2 miles into a cave?
Well, that's I keep getting stuck at that point. You keep saying that, like, they were 2 miles into it, and I'm like, was this guy, like starting a cult? Yeah. Did he have Gatorade at the back of the cave?
And then I saw something about Charles Manson this morning, and I was like, well, maybe.
Right, like, I'm like 2 miles deep into a cave. I mean, yeah, like, I guess 2 mile wind sprints.
Yeah, they just like kept doing exercises and until they were tired and they're like, all right, let's take a break. A monsoon's coming. Like,
I thought like soccer players like typically like play on a soccer field, like where they can see.
Yeah, let's go into a cave and do exercises. It'll be fun. It'll be something to tell your parents. Like,
it's just like, and that's like so different than like like that's so different from what would be here. Like they would, like,
could you imagine the lawsuits?
Oh, absolutely. You would never be able to get away with anything like that.
It'd be like the new Brown versus Ferguson lawsuit, except for like the soccer team in a cave.
Perez versus soccer players.
Yeah, really.
Like, I don't even know.
Like, it would. Oh my god! Like that would have blown up. The states would have never let that happen.
Well, like you just read about some of this stuff that like people get in trouble for. It's like, were you not thinking? Like this is one of those situations where it's like, oh, it's monsoon season and we're gonna run 2 miles into a deep cave, and like
it's like the common sense just vanished.
I don't know like what happened. This is actually a pretty good segue into my next topic. But like people like just like they say, oh hey, like this will never happen to me, and then it does. Like when you say it can never happen to me, that is like prime lubricant, both like logically, well, for you not to be thinking about it, and like kind of like, oh, I can't think of that.
That's
word.
when the carelessness acts in, and
exactly,
like
yeah.
You're just like, nah, like it'll never happen. You see it happen to other people,
Yeah.
but you're like, it would never happen to me. Like
it's
like God's gift. Like
it's part carelessness and it's part actually hubris that it would happen.
And then it does, and you're like, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
So your next topic then.
So
long story short, yeah, I don't know if I even like have a practical way, and I've had more time to think about this, but
yeah, that is a very good topic, actually, a very current event. So my next topic is a social one, and it's not anything that has to do with numbers or logistics or anything like that. So I went to water polo practice. I know, right? I exercised for like the first time in months.
Wait, where at?
At Villanova.
Ah, nice.
So we drove down the 476 to Villanova, and
just to let you know, we're also approaching an hour.
Okay, we'll make it quick. So yeah, Villanova, and I'm in the car with my friend, and we pull up, and I thought I was driving my mom's car. I had to take my dad's car because they took my mom's car out, and I was like, oh man. So I pick my friend up. We're a little late, so I'm in a rush, and I turn left onto Skipback, so 76. I turn right, from Penland Bluebell Pike, and I'm going to that Sunoco gas station to fill up. You know where I'm talking about. You turn right at the Bluebell Inn. You turn right there, and then right on. Anyway, there's a gas station there, so I pull in the near side entrance. There was no traffic, and I pull up to the gas station. I say, "Oh man, I'm driving my dad's car. I didn't even realize."
Is this one by the Wisp Public Library?
No. Yeah, yes, it is by the Wisp Public Library. You're right.
Okay.
So I get out, and I'm like, "Oh man, I'm driving my dad's car. The gas tank is on the other side, the opening for the gas tank." So I had to pull. So I pull through, and I turn around, pop a 3-point turn, and attempt to go back to the gas station that was more parallel to it. And as I'm pulling in, some dude in a Volvo comes screaming in without a turn signal anywhere and parks at the pump I was just at. So if it's like there's a pump and then there's a pump literally right next to it. So our cars were about to collide into one another. They weren't about to, but like just so you can orient yourself for this, if you're trying to visualize this. And so I thought I was just going to be able to pull in and things like that. But this guy comes screaming in and slams on his brakes when he's after the gas station. So he's more towards my pump now. And I know it's going to be a real tight squeeze if I am even able to get the pump to my gas tank. And so I look at him, he looks at me, and he gets out of his car, goes inside, pays for something, comes back out, uses his card to buy gas. So went inside to go pee and grab a drink. And then comes back outside, pays with his card, and then pumps his gas. All the while, I'm trying to pull up to get to a point where I can actually pump my car's gas. Because I had no room. He looked me dead in my face, saw that I was trying to come in, and just didn't give a fuck. Excuse me. that I was, and I'm looking at my friend. This is Luke Bechter. He's in the car with me, and I'm looking at him like, "Are you serious? Like just no regard for other people."
It is amazing how little some people do care.
Well, I started thinking about this, and I said, "Well, I guess like this kind of stems from we're so worried about people thinking we're uptight, quote unquote, that we just are the opposite then, and just don't care about anyone else."
Yeah.
You know, yeah. I think that's exactly where it stems from. Mm-hmm. Like people, like we're so worried about being viewed as uptight that we just have no regard for other people. It's appalling. Mm-hmm. It really is. Like, and then I guess he finally got in his car and drove away after he's done pumping his gas, and then I was able to pull up and get gas myself. And I mean, I was sitting there, and you know how you sit somewhere and you're not even angry. I mean, I was angry, but I'm not but I'm not like angry about like I'm not like, oh man, I wish bad things on that guy. I'm just like more shocked that someone could just not give that much of a crap. Like, you know?
And to even like push it a little bit farther though, if you really want to see somebody at their lowest point, go to a gas station in the middle of traffic hour.
Oh, yeah. Those are not nice places to be.
No, not at all. I mean, I have seen just some amazing, beautiful, just outraging things at a gas station during traffic hour. It's actually like, it's like if you had parked somewhere else, you grabbed like a drink and some popcorn, and you went and sat on a curb, like bird's eye view, or even like by a gas station during traffic hour, there is no greater show than that. Just the road rage that occurs by people
I'm sure.
flipping each other off, screaming at each other. Like, it's blissful. It really is. It's the lowest point anybody could possibly be. All right, well, that concludes today's podcast.
Yeah, guys, reach out to us any way you can. So if you see a comment section, reach out to us. Reach out to one of us on social media. If you know who we are, I'm sure, and everybody listening to this is going to know at least one of us. So reach out to us. Give us your feedback. And also, we're going to pick one comment. And the comment that we're going to choose is subjective, based on what we think is the funniest. Answer the question that was asked first. If you were in an ISIS prison, what Disney princess would you choose to help you escape? And we will get back to you guys with the funniest answer.
In the future, I think our podcast probably will be a little bit shorter. Today was kind of like our trial run, I guess I would probably say. But I think we're going to try to shoot for under an hour. We're a few minutes over, but we are going to try to shoot for a little bit shorter. But like, I wouldn't regret it. I wouldn't do it any other way different. We had a lot to talk about. I also
and things like that.
Exactly.
Took a little time.
Additionally to the places that this is podcasted, I don't think I said it at the beginning, but I have filmed this entire thing, and it will be posted on my my YouTube channel. At Gavin Rogers on YouTube. I have like 35 subscribers, if that helps, to find my channel. But if you want to watch it rather than just listen, the video should be up there at the same time this podcast is up. So if you are hearing this, I probably should have said this at the beginning, but for next episode, you're more than welcome to they'll all be posted on my YouTube channel up there. So take a view if you want to, or just listen into anywhere that this is posted, and definitely leave a comment for which ISIS princess you would or not for which princess oh my God, for which princess you would want to help you escape an ISIS prison.
Yeah, not ISIS princess. I bet those aren't that great.
All right. Till how often are we going to do this?
I don't know.
Well, we don't have a schedule, but when we post it,
let us know that. Yeah. Give us suggestions. Tell us what you like.
By daily's hard, but
daily's very hard.
Daily's very hard, but maybe like
a week, multiple times a week.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe at 1 to 2 times a week, and then if we have free time, maybe a little bit more. or maybe a little bit less once school starts. We'll have to see
Yeah.
how we dive into that one. But nonetheless, this was our first podcast, and we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, tune in for guests soon, too.
Oh, true. We will have guests on here as well. And, yeah. All right. Peace.